So, is it happening? Hi, I'm Kelly Wilkness here with Anita Joyce, and this is Decorating Tips and Tricks, episode 358, Trend Check-In for 2019. We're midway through the year, so this seemed like a great time to check in on those predictions for the 2019 decor trends. And if you want to check out the show notes for today's episode, you're going to head to decoratingtipsandtricks.com/358. Everybody likes the trends.
I know.
So we're here to talk more about them.
Well, and they're so funny because sometimes we hear millennial pink, it's in. Millennial pink, it's out. Millennial pink, it's in. So
it just can make your head spin.
I know.
Such good news that we're here to help everybody sort all of that out. Some of it's good news. Some of it's bad news. Some of it's nonsense. Make sense of all of it.
Well, and I think the reason for this is because sometimes they say something's going to be a trend, but it really never takes.
No.
So that's really the reason for today's episode. For example, remember a couple of years ago, we heard that stainless steel appliances were out and we laughed and laughed and laughed. Yeah, that never took.
Yeah. The trends can tell you what they think is going to be in, whoever they are, and what they think is going to be out. So in both categories, oftentimes it's just like a blooper, like no, or maybe, I don't know. Don't you think that sometimes things get bandied about just to stir up some interest, like, white kitchens are out. And everyone's like, oh no, white kitchens are out. Oh, let's write some articles about that.
Well, the reality is sometimes it's just somebody writing an article for a magazine and they're just, do I say it? Making things up.
Yes. They could just be trying to stir up, maybe making it up, stirring up controversy, that sort of thing. That's why, it's good that you guys have us here because we're telling you the real truth and what we really think, not making any stuff up.
We do tell you like we see it.
Yes. Yeah.
The good, the bad, the ugly, whatever it is.
The trendy. You know what I like about where decor is going or decorating is going is
do tell.
Trend, okay, let's call it a trend or a movement, maybe is a better thing. To this sort of overall idea of blending different types of looks / styles, being really creative in your own space and being a little fearless in that people seem to be more inclined or excited about adding their own personality to their decor rather than, I chose this style. So therefore, I am everything in my house is traditional or everything in my house is shabby chic and I'm following everything that Rachel Ashwell does or I'm following everything that somebody else is doing. They seem to be overall a little bit more comfortable with adding their own style. And maybe that's just our crew here because that's what we talk about all the time. And maybe that's the type of people we're attracting. But I think I'm really seeing that in a lot of magazines too. Putting your own stamp on it is so important. And that probably is more of a movement than a trend, but I like that so much. And I really think that's how everybody should be decorating.
Oh, I so agree with you, Kelly. I love that we're embracing individual style. And I think now more than ever, there's so many different styles and everybody's encouraged to do their own thing, find things they like, put things together in a new and different creative way. So I think now is the time more than ever just to kind of do what you think is beautiful. On the one hand, I think that's individualism is being encouraged. On the other hand, I feel like in a way it's the worst time to be an individual as far as decorating because there's so much pressure, I think, for a lot of people on Pinterest and on Instagram for everyone to have the exact same tray from fill in the blank store and a certain kind of look. And I know you know what I'm talking about. And so I'm hoping that you are not feeling pressured to follow one particular trend or another, but just to take the ones that you like and incorporate them and to ignore the ones that you really don't like.
That's an excellent point, because before all of this and before everybody was sharing every moment of their lives, or in our sort of little tiny niche world, every different vignettes, or every time that, the sun hits their sofa, or they're taking another photo of it,
yes,
or they move their pillow and they're taking a photo of it, before
are
all
you talking about me?
Yeah. But, everybody's doing it. There are a lot of people that are just really enjoying Instagram, their own homes, and they're now bloggers and things like that. So obviously we're seeing a lot more than we ever did before. Before you would know your own house, your family's house, and your friend's house. Now we can know everybody's house. Right.
Right. Exactly. We're getting a peek into everyone's house.
It's kind of creepy and fun all at the same time.
Well, oh yeah.
It's more fun than creepy, but it can be a little creepy, kind of.
Kelly, we're both the kind of people that like to look in the windows.
Oh,
I think we both know
I walk my dog at night so I can see better in the windows. Come on. Everybody knows that.
And the home tours, those are great too.
But what's the reason? Right. I like to say.
I want to see what other people
I mean,
have.
Other than just you being a nosy partner.
They look, the way they live. I want to see what are they doing? Maybe there's something cool going on here that I don't know about.
Well, yes, because you want to be inspired by it.
Yes.
But that's what you're saying though, right? Because if you're doing it because whether you're looking at magazines or blogs or other people's Instagram, or you're lingering in front of a house that you love and trying to get a glimpse inside, if you're doing it because you want a spark of creativity, if you're going to open houses, even though you have no intention of buying any of those houses, just because you want to look around and get
Are you talking
inspired.
about me again?
No, I'm talking about myself. But if you're doing it because you're then going to go home and compare yourself to these other houses, that's bad. So your motivation has a lot to do with, whether or not you're going to enjoy those activities, and whether it's going to be positive and have a great creative impact on what you're doing. So, I hope anybody that's doing that sorts of things, no names being named here, you and I, and a lot of other people listening to us, that you're doing it for the right reasons, to get your creative juices going and to see what's going on out there. And, maybe you can't do exactly what a person's doing, but it gives you an idea to switch up something in your own house.
I think that's the thing. Yeah. If it's a positive thing, do it again. And if it's depressing for you, then stop doing it.
Right. So I think that you raised an excellent point there. And this goes hand in hand with the trends. So we're not totally off roading, talking about that, because it's the same thing. You see a new trend come in, you'd be like, oh my gosh, I just did my kitchen all white. Should it not be white anymore?
Oh, I know. Well, I wanted to mention one other trend that I would say is more of a movement, since you were talking about the movement toward individuality. Another movement I'm seeing in the design world, before we get into the specific little trends, is towards sustainability. Aren't you seeing that? People are interested in the environment. They're interested in, what is this company doing for the environment? Are they conscious of what they're doing? Are they just dumping toxic chemicals everywhere? And I think I love that, because I care about the environment. We all live here. And so I think this is a wonderful movement, and I love it.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that goes hand in hand with some of the things that we're going to talk about here about, quality over quantity, and really being careful about choosing, the types of fabrics you're choosing and things like that, because they're more sustainable. So that's all good. And I think, yes, another really great overall sort of umbrella movement, trend, whatever you want to call it, but it's a good direction to be moving in. So you want to jump into the smaller trends that we spoke of, or,
Well, one of the things we talked about were florals, and I am definitely seeing more and more florals, and I'm seeing them in some interesting places. I'm seeing florals in fabrics, pillows, chairs, wallpaper, on curtains, cutting boards, teapots, dishes. I'm seeing flowers everywhere.
I know. Isn't it nice?
Yes, I do. I miss the flowers.
I did too. And then you felt like you had the flowers and you felt sort of frumpy. But I think it's so wonderful that look is coming back. And like we said, we predicted that, I have to say, before we even did that trend. We did a specific trend episode, which was 296. That was early in January. And then we did Pinterest trends. So there's a few other trend episodes that we can link to here that you guys could listen to if you didn't hear, or, reference back to if you want. We're not going to cover probably every single thing that we covered in those other episodes because there was, 2 or 3 of them, but we're going to touch on several today. And we talked about that floral fabric, and we said we were going to bring some more back to our own store, which we did, and we have some gorgeous florals, and sort of like the florals you mentioned, where it's really just a 2-color, like maybe a blue and a white, or a pink and a white. And then we have some other mixed, more chintzy looking florals, just beautiful. And what about those huge floral murals that you can put up?
Yes. Now? Well, I love them. I don't think they would work in my home, but I do think they're really pretty.
So cool. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how I can use one of those. I'm thinking maybe in this podcast studio, or maybe my daughter's dorm room would be so fun.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, I have a few pinned that maybe we're going to be able to use this year. Last year, her room actually had a wall, like not walled in, but closed in fireplace in it. So one of the walls was really broken up, but it was really cool to have the mantle and whatnot in the room.
Is she in a different room?
She's in the same, she'll be in the same brownstone that she was in last year, but a different room. Now she's going to have 2 other roommates rather than just one. So I'm hoping we have because we have a bigger room, we'll have an open wall where we can do one of those.
Oh, that'd be so fun. Are you going to go help her move in again this year?
Yes.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yes. Okay. Another thing that we talked about and was on trend was bold wall color. So are you seeing that happen, or?
Well, that's interesting you say that, because I am seeing it in magazines. I'm seeing it online. I'm not seeing it a lot in the wild, if you know what I mean. I'm not seeing people's homes on Pinterest, on Instagram, and I look at a lot of real estate listings because, again, I just love seeing it in people's homes.
Right.
I'm not seeing it a lot of places, although I love the look, and I think it's a cool one. And I think it makes sense that that's in now, but I'm not really seeing it yet in the mainstream. But, that's kind of a big commitment. That one, I don't know if that's going to take off. What do you think?
I totally agree on your assessment of where you're seeing it. I don't know if it was this month's House Beautiful, but there was another room what made me think of that, that study type room that you want to do. And it was dark, and it was navy, and it was just, just luscious. But yeah, I'm not really seeing it on Instagram's still kind of a big whitewash. A lot of what's going on there, and the bigger accounts are still all really white, which is fine. So, I don't know if it's that it's taken a longer time to catch on. I mean, it is bold for a reason, because painting a room a dark color like that, or a wall of cabinetry a dark color, is kind of bold. I think it's the same thing with these jewel tones that we heard were coming back in. I don't really see them happening.
Well, and right. I mean, the thing is, I think people feel like, even though they say it's just paint on the wall. But if you're paying someone to do it, or if you're spending your time doing it, that's the problem with the dark colors. You like it for a while, and then you're tired of it. Or you're trying to sell your home and you want it to look bright and open, and it doesn't, because you have a dark color on the wall.
Right.
So I can really understand people's hesitancy to use it in their homes. So I totally get that.
So here in July, or everybody would listen to this mid-August, I don't think it's caught on, that trend. Either one of those predicted trends, jewel tones or bold wall color.
Well, again, I'm seeing some jewel toned velvet sofas, but not so much in people's homes. In fact, in the magazines, I am still seeing a lot of neutrals. Yeah. With very little color.
Yes, exactly. And maybe it's just because everybody just feels like they just switched over to neutral. They're not ready to go to something else.
Well, exactly. Well, no, but here's the thing, though. The UK magazines are showing lots of color. So I think it's an American thing, which most of our listeners are American or in the US. So it's really, I think that's a regional thing. But here, the neutrals are still king as far as the magazines go. But I noticed that some of the magazines, it took a while for them to embrace that. And so they were really lagging what the bloggers were doing, I've noticed. So this is interesting.
One that definitely hasn't caught on, Art Deco. Like who does I think that was one of those like made up things. Like, oh, I need 10 things for my magazine article on trends. Let me think of it. Oh,
I about choked when I saw that
Art
one.
Deco.
I just thought there's no way. I don't see that anywhere.
But if anybody's doing Art Deco out there, send us an email. I want to see what you're doing. I mean, more power to you. If you love it, do it. But as far as a trend where everybody's going to be jumping on the bandwagon, no.
I know. Okay, so here's another one. Remember this? White kitchens out.
Oh, you're pulling me an out and one now. Yeah, no, that's just that was just silly.
Well, right. No, I think it was silly, but I think what I'm seeing is the white is still in, but it seems like that sterile white kitchen look we're kind of moving away from that. And so it's more of a warm, homey feel. So for example, like,
like mine.
Yes. So you've got that very cozy stove. And tell us what else you did to kind of warm yours up.
To warm up my kitchen? Yeah, well, it is a lot of white. Well, I used a dark wood floor. I've got a lot of texture in it. I did, a shiplap behind the stove and, warmed it up that way. And then, using lamps the way I like to in a kitchen. So there are definitely ways to warm up the white kitchen. The thing about the white kitchen is that it's just so pretty. And I don't think you can ever say it's going out. Now, the flip side of that are darker cabinets coming in. Maybe, but I haven't seen a lot of that either.
Right. And just let me add back to the warmth, because what I did to warm mine up was to put a lot of rugged, rustic beams in the ceiling. And so that I felt like warmed it up. So any kind of warm woods that you can add in there, or some deeper colors, like you said, the lamps. Now, back to the darker colors on the cabinets. I've been hearing this too. That was one of the trends that we reported on, because that's what we heard was coming in. I'm seeing some color on the islands, and I'm seeing color on the cabinets on the designer, on the magazine websites. I'm not seeing it anywhere else. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think people in their homes are embracing that as much. You have to have a certain look of your home. It seems like either you've got stained cabinets and either you're happy with them or you're not. And if you're not happy with them, probably 90% chances you're going to paint them white, or you want to paint them white. Right. There's not a lot of people saying, oh, I have stained cherry cabinets, so I want to paint them aubergine or navy or something like that. Right. So I think that's where it's going.
I think it's the same thing. Having your cabinets painted is very expensive. Yeah, the paint may not be that much, but I mean, have you chopped for paint yet? Last time I looked, some of the paints were $100 for a gallon.
Yes, for our clients, we just did some painting, and the Benjamin Moore Aurora was like $75 a gallon.
Right. So the paint is now expensive. It's no longer $20 a gallon. Plus, if you're painting cabinets, there's so much prep work that goes into it. It's quite expensive to have that done. So I completely understand and feel the same way, that I'm not going to change it to some wild color, because I know 2 years down the road, I'm going to be done with it. And then I will have to pay someone thousands of dollars to reverse that. So I'm keeping my white cabinets for now.
Right. But if you like the idea of introducing a darker color or a bolder color,
if you dare,
trend, schmend, whatever, if you just like that idea, then whether it's, as I'm saying, like a bright, bold color or a dark color, like a dark gray or a navy or something like that, here's a way that I think you can work it in. So you have, say, your lighter cabinets. I'm not sure that this would 100% work with stain cabinets. It really depends on the color of the stain. But just for this example, say that your cabinets are a white or an off-white or in the creamy white family. Then if you have an island, or you have even an accent piece of furniture, say a wooden table or something like that, a little eat-in table, how about painting that the darker color and then carrying it around to maybe another smaller piece of furniture that you might have in the room, even a small thing like a stool or something, just making it so it's not standing alone, or best yet, if you had something like oftentimes there's a powder room off the bathroom somewhere, or a small butler's pantry or something like that, then maybe you do the vanity or the cabinetry in that butler's pantry, or that vanity in that small powder room in that same dark color.
Well, that's interesting you say that. I love the idea of painting the island a different color. Something else that we've both seen, and I'm interested to hear your opinion on this, is the top cabinet painted a different color than the bottom cabinet.
Me no like that. No.
I know.
No, I don't like that.
I can't on that one.
No.
But the island painted a different color. I'm down with that.
Yeah, that's okay, because then it sort of makes that pop out. It's a different. It just seems to me like it's a different space, right? It seems like to me, if you do that with your cabinets, unless, I guess there could be some way that it might work in some kitchen, but it seems to me like either you ran out of paint or you ran out of time. And you're like, oh, I'll do the bottom next weekend. And then you never did it. Or something like that.
It almost looks like, two different kitchens that you've seamed together, that you've sewn together somehow.
And it's like almost in that category for me of like trying too hard. Like that's just trying too hard to be something. It should be one color. Tops and bottoms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Agreed.
Your bra should match your panties. You know what I'm saying? I mean, on the best of days, if you can do it, if the laundry allows, that sort of thing.
I'm short-waisted, so I have to go with the same color top as pants or skirt, because otherwise I look too chopped up. So,
see, there you go. Even
I have to do this in my life.
Even the exterior clothing has to be similar.
Exactly.
Okay, so here's another one that we talked about. People saying was coming back: trims, extra stuff. Whether it's edging or piping or pom-poms or things like that. Do you feel like that's really going on?
I'm not seeing a lot of it, but no. I want it to be true. I love
in those. My dreams it's happening.
Yes, exactly.
But here's the thing, you don't want to go too over the top and have it be very 80s looking. So maybe people are a little cautious there too. And, every time you add a trim, whether it's to a drapery or a pillow or something like that, it does increase the cost, or it should, if it's done well. So, maybe that's really not having the impact people thought it would have. Clean boho seems to be happening though. Remember we talked about that? So you've got that sort of a little bit of a, dare I say, free-spirited look, but there's a lot more white mixed in.
That's right. And I am seeing that. I'm seeing it's kind of like a world look.
Yeah, like a little global.
Global, but with not as much color as it used to have.
Right.
So it's very interesting. A very much a streamlined look, like so many of the classic styles that we've had in the past. So many looks have been streamlined. And I think boho is one of those that, there's just less to it now. So it's just, pulled into modern times.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to look at it. More of a streamlined boho, which it seems like maybe that is incongruous, but I think that is true. You're just adding pops of it. And I think that can be a really nice look. It's very comfortable and casual. Can be really vibrant if you want to go that way. So it's a fun way to do, especially certain places. Like if you lived by the beach or something like that and coastal really wasn't your thing, I think this clean boho look could be great. It could also have like this sort of urban look to it if you add a little bit of industrial furnishings with it. So I like that whole look.
Don't you just love a great recommendation from a friend? Well, we're delighted to be recommending these companies and their wonderful products to you today. And let them know your friends at DTT sent you. Inevitably, with the new year come wellness goals. One very effective and easy to reach goal is to add dose to your wellness regime. Dose is expertly formulated organic wellness shots that support your liver in one delicious drink. Formulated with ingredients clinically shown to support liver health, potent turmeric, milk thistle, and ginger. There's 0 sugar and 0 calories. Did you know that your liver performs over 500 special functions? Since I learned all that my liver is doing, I started with Dose to support all those vital functions. I take a shot of refreshing Dose 2 times per week to combat everyday toxins from food, meds, alcohol, and unhealthy air. Since starting with Dose about a month ago, I am definitely feeling an overall improvement in my health. So if you want to give Dose a shot and invest in your health like I have, Dose is offering DTT listeners 15% off your first order, plus an additional 15% off if you subscribe for a monthly delivery. That's 30% off your first order. So go to dosedaily.co/DTT and use the code DTT. That's dosedaily.co.co/DTT and use the code DTT. Green Chef is a delicious delight any time of year, but especially during the holidays. What a wonderful vision to behold as the Green Chef boxes on your doorstep. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit for eating well. And it makes eating well so easy with plans to fit every lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat a more balanced diet. So let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season. And if you've got guests coming, shop Green Bundles. They're now available at the Green Market. It's your one-stop shop for nutritious grab-and-go breakfasts, including vegan options, brunch kits, wholesome lunches, ready-to-eat snacks, veggie sides, and more. You can feel your best this December and do your best with Green Chef because they offset 100% of the delivery emissions as well as 100% of the plastic in every box. Go to greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT and get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT to get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. What didn't catch on at all? And you're not going to be surprised when you hear this.
Okay, yes.
Black bathroom fixtures.
What? Yeah.
And the crowd falls silent. No, not because they all have black bathroom fixtures, but because they're like, duh.
I know. That one was silly. It was silly.
What did we say? I was laughing out loud. Sometimes when I listen to our episodes, I find myself laughing out loud. But it was like we were joking, like, who's going to have that? Like, Hugh Hefner? Like, who's going to have a black bathroom? Black toilet? And they weren't just talking about, like, a black towel. They were talking about the fixtures, the expensive fixtures.
Who can afford to change this stuff out 5 years from now when it's so passé?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to. I stick with the white. I think that's just crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've got loads of money to throw away, go for it. But I don't get it.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So here's something else that we talked about, and I am definitely seeing this, and it is contemporary fireplaces that are sleek, modern, clean lines. Sometimes they don't have a mantle, but aren't you seeing a lot of fireplaces that do not look like the old traditional brick fireplaces?
Yes. And almost to the point where like that's kind of what a fireplace seems to look like now. You know? I mean, it's gone so far away from the traditional just sort of like surround or with the stone or with the always was that green granite. You don't really see that. And if people have that, they're wanting to change that up. And you and I know that because people ask us that all the time. And that one episode we did about redoing your fireplace, my goodness. I mean, that gets listened to all the time because I think that's definitely something that will date your home and will instantly update your home if you either take on the DIY. Did I say DIY? Did I say all the letters there?
Yes,
or you pay for someone else to do it. Yeah, that will really increase the value of your home and I think really make it feel more current.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and a lot of times people just paint them and they look a lot better.
Okay, here's one. Red.
Yes. Are you
and I
red?
both loved red. We had
did
a passionate affair with red before we really knew each other. We were doing red.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Yes, my red phase was strong.
Strong and long for me too.
It took a long time to cover up all that red furniture. I made slip covers till I was blue in the face.
That's so funny. Ha ha. Till you were blue in the house.
I know. Till no more red. Yeah. So I'm not seeing it. Are you seeing it?
I'm not seeing it. And I wasn't sure because I was so done with it and I didn't want to see it anymore, or whether it's just not really happening.
So you might have ignored it.
Yeah, but I had to put on my kind of objective investigative reporter face when I was getting ready for this episode. And I thought to myself, no, I'm not really seeing it.
No. Okay. So another thing that we said was macrame, that someone said that was going to be in. Well, I am seeing some of those wall hangings on store websites. Is anyone buying it? I don't know.
Well, yeah, I think I remember us talking about, it wasn't like the owl macrame wall hanging, but more of like a textual arts or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see that really, being a big trend. I mean, if you have it and you love it and it's really well done, that's great. But I don't see that has really sparked a flame.
Mm-hmm. Well, I haven't been tempted at all.
Here's another one that kind of was like, again, another magazine, another newspaper. Hey, I'm doing 15 trends and I only have 14. I need one. Memphis, which does anyone even, I had to look that up. What was Memphis?
Yes.
Okay, so
can't remember
Memphis,
what it is, but it's something, I think that's kind of popular in Europe right now, isn't it?
Well, you could think maybe like a little Berlin-y, kind of, but no, Memphis was very popular in the 80s. So kind of, supposedly, I don't know. I wasn't really decorating houses in the 80s, but I don't remember anybody being like, oh, Memphis. And when I describe what Memphis is, like, you'd be like, why would they call it Memphis? Like, you would more call it like Berlin or some other city. Memphis. Okay. It's like pop art and very bold colors, geometric shapes.
I think that's more popular in Europe right now.
Yeah.
But I don't see it here.
No.
I don't see it much. Let me put it that way.
No. And how could you we're going from we're coming off like a farmhouse stupor. Like if you dove into Memphis, that'd be like, I don't know, being like,
throw everything out.
Yeah. It'd be like being really hungover on wine and then like diving into like tequila sunrises or something. Like,
we went straight to the tequila.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, what? No. Like, how are you going to make that work with anything you have existing in your house? So
I don't know.
That's for the people with the black bathrooms. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Well, here's another one I found that we reported on was tin ceiling tiles. Not seeing these anywhere.
No. I don't think people think of those other than if you have a historic home.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, right. And I think they're lovely. you can definitely use them. It's a very vintage look. It's kind of a cool look, but it's not popular now. I don't think it's popular.
And I don't and I think it could work really, there's so many different kind of relief styles in tin ceilings that you can get other than the vintage ones that you might find. There are people that make these now. Oftentimes you see them, it's sort of advertised in the back of magazines. You imagine it's like these little stores, somewhere that are still turning these things out. But it could kind of be cool in any style house in a certain type of room, painted a certain color. That's true. It is something to consider. Like when we talked about the use your ceiling as a fifth wall, you could definitely consider it, but is it a trend? No, it's not a very crowded room full of trendy people.
I don't see it. I don't see it.
It's just a few people in there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah. No.
What about this one? Cactus.
Is cactus in or out?
Well, we reported
they said succulents were out, which is so
other
dumb.
People were saying succulents were out and cactus were in.
Oh yeah, no, remember? I don't think so. No, nobody's going to embrace the cactus, ha ha ha, like they did the succulent. That's like, succulents are like puppies, like they're so cute.
Yeah,
cacti are not that cute.
No, I don't get that, except that you don't have to water them much. But.
No, unless you live out in in Arizona or Joshua Tree or something. Like, are you really using cactus in your decor? I don't think so.
No, if where you live, I think if that's
then that's perfect.
Then I think that makes sense. And
but as a worldwide trend, no. 4-poster beds, like. I don't know. Was that ever, has that ever been a trend? It's just like, there are beds like that.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of beautiful ones. A long time ago, those rice beds were really hot and everyone had one.
Wait, what's a rice bed?
You know those.
Is it like Princess and the Pea, but you use rice?
No, silly, you know what it is.
No, I don't. I really don't.
Oh, stop.
I mean, maybe when you describe it, I'll know.
You will know. Okay. Back in the 80s when
mahogany... when I was in elementary school.
Okay, stop it.
I wasn't buying beds.
I'm not saying you were buying them, but I assume that you have studied your history.
Oh, yeah. The history of the rice bed. I will deny it. You know it.
All right. So mahogany furniture, all of this 18th century furniture was in. And remember the 4-poster mahogany bed that was carved.
Oh, yeah.
And it was actually rice plants were carved on the posters.
Oh.
You don't remember that?
Oh.
Does it sound familiar?
I thought it was wheat sheaves that I was seeing.
Well, they were called rice beds. So
okay, I get it. Now, I never heard, but I honestly, I'm not kidding you. I never heard that term.
Okay.
And I bet I'm not alone, but that's okay. That's okay. Memphis and rice beds. Wow. This is like an education, not just opinion. It's educational as well. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think that's, that covers a lot.
I have one more.
Do you have more?
One more.
Okay.
I have one more. Well, actually I have 2 more. Well, no, just one. Wallpaper. I think that is very popular. I think that has taken off for sure.
That's a good one to sort of conclude the trends with because yes, right. Wallpaper, it's just delightful. And I'm so glad everybody's embracing it again because it is so nice.
I love it. I'm a little nervous about doing it again because I'm afraid I'll be bored with it, but I love seeing it for sure. I love it.
Yeah. So, and if you're feeling that way, then we'll link to that blog post I did about the wallpaper panels. That's a dip your toe into wallpaper.
True.
There's also all the removable adhesive type wallpaper. You could give that a whirl. So there are a lot of ways to get on board with that trend that is not such a big commitment. But I think once you start looking around, like I follow House of Hackney wallpapers on Instagram. It's just, talk about bold and delicious and really sophisticated looking. Like they definitely turn your head kind of wallpapers.
Oh, yes.
They're not your grandma's wallpapers.
Yes.
Really good. There's one thing that I wanted to talk about that I'm going to throw out there, and Anita and I discussed this, and so we're both going to throw this out there. As far as a trend for the holidays coming up this year. Now we're going to predict it as a trend, but we're also giving it to you as a suggestion because you're all our dear friends.
This is something we're going to do because we're lazy.
No, it has nothing to do with being lazy.
Oh,
I'm going to have to edit that out.
Joking,
what you
course.
Just said. The thing is that we want to say that it's okay to do the holidays light. Christmas light, Hanukkah light, whatever you combo or other holidays you might celebrate, or if Thanksgiving is your big celebration, it's okay not to go crazy. It's okay not to put up 3 different themed trees.
Right.
It's okay not to have multiple bins. It really is. In fact, it's a good idea.
Mm-hmm. Well, it went a little crazy with all the bloggers kind of outdoing each other. Yeah. And then you felt like you had to have this big spread. And, you and I have just never been into that. So
well, I have to say, I've never really been into it, but I got swept along with the wave of it for a couple of years because of exactly what you were saying before. You're seeing everybody's house inside and out. I'm seeing all these trees. I'm like, oh my gosh. I don't have a tree in my entry. Oh my gosh. I should have a tree in my master bedroom. What am I, crazy? This opportunity
Is there one in my bathroom? I don't have one in my bathroom.
I could have a whole different color tree. Maybe I should put one in my basement. Like, It was nuts. And then, as far as we're concerned, we also were, having our blogs and sometimes being given trees by different companies. So you're doing it. So all of a sudden you end up with all these trees and you're like, well, I might as well put them up. But I'm not even getting swept up in any of that. I don't think I'm going to be doing any Christmas blog tours or anything like that anymore. So I can just be like a normal person about Christmas.
And wonderful.
Yes. But like quote unquote normal people, not, I'm just saying like not bloggers, but everybody gets swept up in it. And it's fun for a little bit, but
till somebody gets hurt,
until
somebody gets an ornament thrown in their eye.
Exactly. So it's okay. We talked about this last year. So, we're hoping that this is a trend where, maybe people are just putting up one tree or, all the rest of their decorations are live greens that they don't have to store or just, a few special ornaments that mean something to you. But, obviously, as we say with everything, you should do in your home what makes you feel good. So if it makes you feel good to put up, a giant subdivision of Christmas houses and all this kinds of stuff, and you love it and your kids love it or whatever, your husband loves it, your friends love it, you have parties, then do it. But do it. But if it doesn't feel good and it feels like too much stress at an already very hectic time of year, just go Christmas holiday light.
Well, and listen, there's a lot of us that Marie Kondoed our house, and we Marie Kondoed those Christmas things out the door.
I need you to hold my hand and help me Marie Kondo these red balls that I have. They're even plastic. And every year I'm like, I should just get rid of them. And then I'm like, well, maybe someday I'll do a red tree again. But why am I keeping them? I should go give them to Goodwill.
Yeah, give them away. Let them release them for someone else to enjoy.
I have 2 bins of plastic red balls because I used to put them in giant glass sort of containers, cylinders. And I don't know why I still have them. I don't even use them. Okay. So that's our thought for the holidays here in, midsummer. Just keep that in mind.
BritBox just keeps getting better. The new Archie is amazing. And it's not the comics. It's about Cary Grant. Archie is the brand new limited series starring Jason Isaacs as Archie Leach, the man who became Cary Grant. From the award-winning screenwriter of Philomena, Archie tells Grant's born in Britain, made in Hollywood story, the dramatic grit to glamour transformation that led him to become one of the most famous people in the world. You are going to absolutely love the acting, but also the styling, the outfits, the scenery. It's the first time his story has been told in collaboration with his daughter Jennifer Grant and ex-wife Diane Cannon. The performances from Jason Isaacs and the rest of the cast are amazing, and it's only available on BritBox. So sign up for BritBox today to stream Archie and other fan favorites from any device. And we have a special limited time offer for our U.S. and Canadian listeners. Get 50% off. Yes, that's 50% off your first month when you sign up for a monthly plan. But only if you go to BritBox.com and use our promotion code DTT at checkout. You're going to love Archie. So head over right now and get 50% off your first month of BritBox. Use the promotion code DTT at BritBox.com. Go ahead, clean out your closet. Then head straight to Quince. I love every item Quince offers, from wardrobe to decor. And I can really recommend their Ultra Stretch Super Wide Leg Pant at $49.90. The price is unbeatable, and the look is so flattering. It keeps you in on top and flares out of the bottom. Everything feels right with Quince. The price, the quality, and the sustainability. Quince offers a range of luxury wardrobe and home goods at prices within reach. And like Quince's clothing, their home goods are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. Once you've cleaned out your closet and refreshed with Quince, you can also add something to your home decor. So give your wardrobe and your home the refresh it needs with Quince. Go to quince.com/DTT to get free shipping and 365-day returns on your next order. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/DTT for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/DTT. And let me know how you love those pants.
You want to get on to our crushes?
Well, I have a fun crush. I love watching shows on Hulu, and this particular show was really fun. It's called Welcome to Sweden. Have you watched it?
No.
Well, it's fun. It's Amy Poehler's brother. His name is Greg Poehler. So in real life, Greg married a Swedish woman, and then he moved to Sweden, to Stockholm, to be with her. And then they got married. Her name's Charlotta, and I love that name. And so he created this TV show, not loosely based, not exactly, but you know what I mean. It's kind of based on the premise of an American guy following his girlfriend to Sweden and struggling to fit in and understand the culture and everything. So it's really funny. And it's got Lena Olin in it. And she's so beautiful.
I love her.
I know. She's in it.
What role does she play?
The girlfriend's mother.
Oh, yeah. She's got the mother roles these days. That's okay,
I know,
Lena. You're still rocking it. Go, girl.
Oh, she is. She's still gorgeous.
Okay, welcome to Sweden, did you say?
Yes.
Well, you'll put it in the show notes, but I want to see it before.
Yes. You'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy it.
Is it funny?
It is. It is.
Okay. All right. Mine is...
I wouldn't recommend it if it wasn't.
Well, but I mean, it could be kind of ironic or silly, but it's funny, you're saying. Okay.
I think it's funny.
It's like a comedy. Okay. So I don't know if you guys, some of you may have read my blog post, but I was asked to be a Better Homes and Garden Live Better blogger. So I was excited about that. So it's such an iconic brand. Better Homes and Gardens been around for so long. And they have a line of decor at Walmart. And so I've been asked to explore what they're offering and do posts on it, about once a month. In this one particular item, they have really very nice things. But this one particular item, I just am blown away by it. It's a lampshade, which if you listen here, I have a struggle with lamps. I usually like to get them thrifted and spray paint them and whatever. And then I'm always needing to find a new lampshade because normally if you find a thrifted lamp, you need a fresh lampshade. Gorgeous lampshade, neutral color with studs, like brass studs, almost like nail heads at the top and the bottom. And it's $13.41.
Oh, I saw it. It was beautiful.
It's beautiful, isn't it? So
yes.
I'm going to put the link there because it's a great lampshade. And if you're in the need of lampshade or you want an instant refresh, lampshades can do that for you. So check out the show notes for that. And today's listener question is from Renee. Renee has taken our advice and purchased some natural woven shades. She chose a sort of dark espresso brown, which she really likes against her white walls and white trim and all of that. But she says she has no dark brown anywhere in the rest of the room. Is this okay?
Okay. My thoughts on this are that it is okay. I don't think you need to necessarily repeat that color. I do think that you do want lights and darks in your room. So if you have some very dark woven shades, then I think it would be natural shades. It would be nice to have some other colors in the room that are from that color density. So I think you would want to add some dark colors in the room so that that's not the only dark color. But that's my thought there. What about you, Kelly?
I think that's an excellent point, right? So I'm I don't know why in my mind, but I was picturing Renee's. She didn't say what other colors she had in the room.
Right. We haven't seen the picture.
Right.
So.
There were no pictures. So I'm sort of picturing like a navy couch for whatever reason and white walls and these dark wovens. And I think that would look terrific. I mean, it doesn't have to be navy, but exactly what you're saying, Anita, like I'm visualizing and you verbalized the same thing. Like there has to be some other equally balanced depth of color somewhere in the room. And I would say the shades don't have to be, and it's not like an accent color where you're going to want to pop it all around the room. But if you wanted to add a chunky basket or something that's also in that color family, to bring in that same texture someplace else, you could do that, but I don't think it's necessary, Renee. And good choice. I love natural wovens. And if they're dark brown, they sound kind of like they're mine colors too, because I have really dark espresso and I love it.
They sound beautiful. Thank you Renee for writing into us.
Yeah.
This was wonderful. It was fun hanging out with you again today.
It was. I missed you. Anita was on vacation, and
I know
it's been a busy summer
too. I missed you too, and I missed talking with everyone and talking about design. So remember, we're here to inspire you to create a beautiful home. Until next time.
I want to remind you that we are available for design consults. We take on your design dilemmas, questions, renovations, any project you want to talk about, any room, any space. We are here for you. And we really do enjoy doing these. And I think we've helped people a lot. So if you want to sign up for a consult, head to the link in the show notes. It's decoratingtipsandtricks.com/consult. We hope to talk to you soon.